Welcome back. Today we have, not necessarily in this exact order, a word about edges and surrounding areas, a very old journal, a political symbol, a broadcast network, a scientist, a religious leader, a song, and a quote. So grab your favorite cuppa, settle in, and let's have a look. Hi there, and welcome to This Day in History for November 7th. November 7th is the 311th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 312th in leap years, with 54 days remaining to the end of the year. Today's word is penumbra. Penumbra is a noun, and it has several definitions. We're probably most likely to hear it in reference to an eclipse, whether solar or lunar. The word penumbra comes to us from a combination of Latin terms that means almost shadow. And in regards to eclipses, the umbra is part of the celestial body, whether sun or moon, that is in direct shadow. The penumbra is the part that occurs alongside the shadow or is at the edge of the shadow. And it's good that we looked this up because I thought, it's that bright part around the sun during an eclipse. But no, that's the corona. So the penumbra is the part of the sky body that's still showing, not in direct shadow, but next to the shadow. Merriam-Webster describes it as a space of partial illumination between the perfect shadow and the full light. The shaded region surrounding a dark central portion of a sunspot, for example, may also be called a penumbra. Penumbra may be described as a surrounding or adjoining region in which something exists in a lesser degree or a fringe. An example sentence could be, the 17th century lay in the penumbra of the Middle Ages. This is a quote by Edward Eggleston. The word penumbra might also be described as a body of rights held to be guaranteed by implication in a civil constitution, such as the penumbra of the Bill of Rights. Another definition of penumbra is something that covers, surrounds, or obscures, such as a penumbra of secrecy, or as in a comment by biographer James Atlas, where he talks about a penumbra of somber dignity that had descended over someone's reputation. Interesting turn of phrase. In medicine, penumbra is the area surrounding the point of an embolism or stroke. In law, penumbra typically refers to rights that may not be specifically stated in the Constitution, but that can be inferred from other enumerated rights. Another way of saying that might be that rights that exist in the Constitution's penumbra can be found in the shadows of other portions of the Constitution. As I mentioned near the beginning, the word penumbra comes to us from a combination of Latin terms that mean almost shadow. First known use of the word penumbra was in about 1665. Penumbra. And with that, the London Gazette, the oldest surviving journal, was first published on November 7, 1665. This is a paper in which statutory notices were required to be published, more like a legal notices type of paper, not a conventional news coverage type of paper. And by golly, it's still in publication all these 359 years later. This is the birthday of Polish chemist and physicist Marie Curie, born November 7, 1867. Fascinating woman. Her studies and discoveries have benefited all of us in one way or another. She lived to the age of 66. A cartoon published on November 7, 1874 by Thomas Nast in Harper's Weekly was thought to be the first notable use of an elephant as the symbol for the United States Republican Party. November 7, 1918 is the birthday of American minister and author Billy Graham, considered one of the most influential Christian leaders of the 20th century. He lived to the age of 99. President Lyndon Johnson signed the Public Broadcasting Act of 1967 on November 7, 1967, establishing the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. Daryl Hall and John Oates teamed up in about 1970 and have hit the top 40 with 29 of their 33 singles, 6 of those peaking at number 1. One of those number 1 hits is Private Eyes, written by Warren Pash, Sarah Allen, Jana Allen, and Daryl Hall. Private Eyes was released in August of 1981 and also appears on their album of the same name. Private Eyes, the single, hit number 1 on November 7th, 1981. Private Eyes by Daryl Hall and John Oates. Link in the description. How about that? For today's quote, I found one from Marie Curie, and it is, "Nothing in life is to be feared. It is only to be understood. Now is the time to understand more, so that we may fear less." Marie Curie. All righty, y'all, take care. Be good to each other. I'll see you next time. And a hearty and grateful shout out to these lovely folks who've bought me a coffee. Thank you so much. And if you'd like to add your name to that list, there is a link in the description where you too can buy me a coffee. All righty. And I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with a link in your email, messaging, or social media. If you enjoy this series, you can check out the playlists in the description. You can find me on BitChute, Facebook, Odyssey, Rumble, YouTube, and X, as well as on a blog page called No Really. No Really. No Really. Consider following my Day in History page on Facebook if you're on Facebook. I also have a Patreon account now, or you can buy me a coffee. All those links are in the description. Alrighty, that's all I can think of right now. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.